People, we're home, obviously. I left the hotel about 9 o'clock. It's just gone at 10 a.m. I was going to do like this rap video at the hotel, but I thought, you know what, let's get back to the green chair. Let's get back to the green chair and then we can wrap up, not just the fights just happened, but fight camp as a whole and my own experiences. Firstly, thank you so much to everyone that's been watching the behind the scenes videos. I just enjoy doing them. I think they're fun. Again, apologies that I couldn't do one yesterday. It just gets so busy so quickly. Like you're just running around doing little bits and bobs. And again, I don't want DAZN or, you know, my bosses to think he should be doing this, but he's doing filming for his YouTube. So if it's not busy, I will bring out the camera. But if it's super busy, then I think it looks doesn't look right, does it? It doesn't look right. Overall, crazy experience, peeps. Honestly, what an experience fight camp was. There were people, obviously there was a lot made about the ticket prices, and rightly so. 800 quid is a lot of money. So it was 750 plus a £50 booking fee. So that's a lot of money. There were people that were there for all 3 weeks, all that paid 800, 800, 800. No jokes. And I remember speaking to them and they were all of them. There wasn't one person that was there, even when it poured down, even when Conor Ben Granados got pulled, there wasn't one person I spoke to that complained about the ticket price. Obviously, those people got a lot of money. There's no two ways about it. But I think it was so unique. It's such a unique event. It really is. I mean, the way you're mixing with the fighters and the other celebs that come in, the drinks, the food, the music. I don't know how it looks on TV because I've not even watched any event back yet. But to be there was crazy. Honestly, there was times when I was on top of the bus, I'm just looking down, looking around and watching it. And it was just epic. Honestly, just an epic event. I was trying to think of my best fight or best performance of fight camp. I really liked Babbage Bennett because I thought that could have gone anyway. That was a crazy, crazy fight. Joe Cordina stopping Joshua Hernandez. We'll talk about that. That was a good performance as well. I guess it's got to go to Lee Wood, right? Lee Wood getting the opportunity to fight for a regular title, I know, but regardless, to fight Zhu Can, who a lot of people consider the world champion, and to beat him is some doing on short notice as well. That's some doing. So that's probably going to be, I think, the performance of fight camp. I'm trying to think, was there anything yesterday? No, I think that was the performance of fight camp. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. One of the moments of fight camp was, and I've got to respect this guy so much, Travis of Undefeated Podcast. So we were having a little debate, me, Travis, Tony Bellew and KG, about the best light heavyweight in the country, which is up for debate, right? And Travis had a little dig at Lyndon Arthur, saying that he thinks Anthony Yarde will beat Lyndon Arthur. Lyndon Arthur was there yesterday. So I was like, all right, go on then, tell him. And him and Lyndon Arthur were going back and forth, friendly, not in an angry way, but I like the way in which he kept firm, even in front of the boxer. I wouldn't do it. Don't think I would anyway, and kept firm and was like, I think Lyndon Arthur beats you. I think Anthony Yarde beats you. I think you've got a good jab. I think he beats you in any other sort of facet of the game. And I was like, wow. It's on, Coogan videoed it. It's on IFL TV's channel, so go and check it out. But again, overall, great experience. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I learned a lot. Obviously, I don't do much broadcasting. Like I do a lot of radio stuff. So I learned a lot about myself and what I need to improve as well. And we roll on the next one. The next one is Leeds, Headingley. And then after that, I think AJ Usyk, obviously Sky Sports have the UK rights. So I think DAZN is showing it globally. So I think I'll be there for that. And then up to Liverpool for Fowler versus Smith. All right, let's quickly run through the fight card, give my thoughts on it. Zelfa Barrett versus Simeon. It's weird to see Simeon like this. Simeon's, what is he, 39? Simeon fought as an amateur in the same World Championships as Darren Barker and Andy Lee. He's been around a long time. But I guess, look, you get a call to make a couple of quid, you're going to do it, right? So it's hard to kind of gauge anything about Zelfa with that performance. All you can say is Zelfa got the win, and we see what happens next with Zelfa. He wants the Kiko Martinez fight. Kiko Martinez is fighting next month in Barcelona, I think it is. So if he comes through that, then let's do it again, because a lot of people thought that Kiko beat Zelfa. Zelfa got the win. Some people say it was controversial, so I do think both of them want to do it again. Cash for Rook versus Louis Castillo. Now, you guys know the history and story about Luis Castillo being deaf, not being able to speak, doesn't like nothing, which is crazy. You know, like the 10-second clapper, he's cornerman shakes the rope, and that's how he knows there's only 10 seconds left. That's nuts. Cash Farouk got the win. Cash Farouk's a very, very skilled boxer, but without much pop. Like, in his 16 wins now, he's only got 6 knockouts. I say only, right? I mean, there are fucking fighters with a worse record than that, and there's one on the card. But he almost has to go into his tool bag and show everything to get the job done. And that's hard doing. It must be weird knowing, like, you're going to go 10 or 12 rounds. Like, you don't have that equalizer. This could end any time. You're going to go 10 or 12. So it's going to be tough for Cash. He's going to win this fight. I think Cash is a very, very good fighter. Very good. But it's almost a case of he's having to go overtime all the time. Sometimes you want a few early nights, a few 4 or 5 rounders. I haven't put my phone on mute. Hopefully that doesn't ring. You want a few 4 or 5 rounders just to kind of like, all right, we can save a bit for the next one. He has to go 10 and 12 all the time. So it'd be interesting to see what they do with Cash. Raymond Ford was one of the first fights on. He took on Reese Belotti. Raymond Ford got the job done. Looked really good as well. I spoke to his training setup a couple of days before, and they're like, look, we'll show you. There was a lot going on in Aaron Perez fight. We'll show you how good we are in this one. And they did. For Reese, this is now where you sit down and you really, really reassess what you're doing. Like, is this something you want to continue doing? And people might say that's extreme, but there was a time when Reese Belotti was something like, it was either 10-0 and 8 or 9 knockouts. That was his record. And everyone's like, yo. Not yo as in he's going to go on to world level wonders, but yo, we've got something here. He's lost 5 of his last 7. He's lost 3 in a row. Now, you know what it's like in the UFC. You lose 3 in a row, Dana White cuts your ass. Right, he says, you go down to, lower levels and try and get some wins, then come back up again. He might have to do that. He might have to go to some of the small hall shows, go down a level. You might not want to do it, but go down a level, get your confidence back up. Maybe even look at the training setup there. And I mean, that's not always the way, but maybe look at it, and then maybe you look at another weight class. You got to think of things to do, or call it quits. I mean, these are options. I think call it quits is the most extreme one. I think you go down to a few small hall shows and get a couple of easy wins. Not losing record guys, but guys that he's clearly better than. Work on a couple of things, but I do think he needs to look at maybe switching his training setup. He needs to, because again, mentally that's very difficult. Being that prospect that was 11-0, 9 knockouts to what is he now, 15-5. That's really bad. What else we got? Michael Mickinson versus Ranovsky. I butchered his name yesterday. Mickinson's an interesting one because Mickinson is 21-0. 21-0, only 2 stoppages in that. And that's the thing that's glaring. Like, you see that and you think, oh, okay. So Mickinson is a bit like Cash Farouk, where Mickinson knows he's going all the way. So whether it's a 10-rounder or a 12-rounder, Mickinson's going all the way. And he did sting Ranovsky with a couple of shots. But by the way, Ranovsky was actually supposed to fight Conor Benn 3 fights ago, but turned it down. I was speaking to Conor about that. Conor was watching it, and like, he asked for the Ranovsky fight before for Mella, and they didn't want it. But Mickinson, the problem is, all right, he's not super entertaining. He just isn't, right? He's not going to call out anyone on the mic. I tried to push him when I interviewed him. Go on, call out Conor, call out someone. You've got to do it. Like, if you're not entertaining in the ring as such, you've got to be entertaining out of the ring. You just got to be. This is not a discredit to the man. He's 21-0. I mean, this is a good fighter. Clearly a good fighter. But the masses, the casual fans, do want to see stoppages. They do want to see knockouts. They do want to see fighters put on clinics. He will he'll make every round 10-9, 10-9, 10-9. He's going to win every round, pretty much. And it's difficult to know what Eddie's going to do with him. Eddie's a magician in terms of trying to move people in the right direction, I think, but it's going to be very, very difficult. Eddie might have to become the mouthpiece for Mickinson, like the way Sam Jones is for Joe Joyce a bit, because Mickinson ain't going to do it. His dad isn't going to do it either. Now, he's a big Portsmouth fan. I'm trying to think if there's anything they can do down there for him, like any fights he can have in Portsmouth where he might be able to draw a crowd. But yeah, I don't know what next for him. Look, there are a couple of options there. Iko Usman, who's the Commonwealth and British champion. There's Florian Marcoux, who's a big step back for Mickinson, in my opinion, but Marcoux's got a following. He's got a following, and he's got some name value over here as well. And then it's a case of going abroad. He's not going to get the Conor Benn fight. He's just not going to get it, right? He's not. Conor Benn's going to fight Granado, stop him, then go. So I don't know what to do with Mickinson, but you've got a 21-0 unbeaten fighter here who's done it the hard way. Small hall shows. You know, there is no big amateur background. There is no name behind him. Small hall shows and worked his way up. No one knew Mickinson before the Chris Congo fight. So he's had to get to 19-0 fighting people that we haven't heard of, tough fights to get to where he's got to. So I hope he gets all his flowers and rewards, but I'm not quite sure. And then the main event, Buatsi versus Bolotniks. I'm going to kind of go forward in the rounds, then we'll go back. The reason I want to do that is because Buatsi done something that was a bit naughty yesterday. I was watching it, I was right ringside, like as close as you could get. Buatsi unloaded everything when he dropped Bolotniks in the 5th or 6th round. He clearly shot his load. And he was so tired, he done a low blow. It was an intentional low blow. Trust me, I know when he's trying to hit on the belt, and I know when he was going low. He went low just to get a breather. He was like, you know what? Fuck it. Take the point off me. I just need to breathe. Because the ref had warned him a couple of times about the low blows before that. And he was like, you know, I just need to breathe. He needed, not that he was going to lose the fight or anything, but he needed that 30-second rest. He needed it. And he thought, you know what? I'm winning. I'm clearly winning the fight. You can take that point. Take it. I need it. Let's go to the start of the fight now. I thought Buatsi boxed well. I thought he really boxed well. I like the way he doubled up on his jab. I like the way he kind of sat on his body punches, like really dig into the body. And you've got to give credit to Bolotniks. Like a lot of people will look at that fight and maybe discredit Buatsi a little bit. You've got to give sometimes credit to Bolotniks. Bolotniks was as tough as old boots. Now, I don't know if you guys have a pair of old boots, but they are fucking tough. That's how tough Bolotniks was. Like, when Buatsi dropped him, you kind of felt like, okay, this was the beginning of the end because Buatsi's quite a spiteful finisher. Bolotniks just rode him, took some heavy headshots. And you know what's crazy? At the hotel after, Bolotniks is just sitting there at the hotel. I'm like, dude, how are you sitting there? Like, I looked at him like, yo, what the fuck's this man? Him and his team were just sitting there. And I'm like, these men are made of stuff that I don't even think I ever had in my life. Like stern stuff. Like his eyes a bit fucked up, his hands were all, and I'm like, man was just sitting there talking and laughing with his team. Anyway, I think Buatsi looked good for a few rounds. He definitely takes too many shots for me. I don't know what that is. I mean, well, I do know what that is, right? Sometimes he's coming center of the line and he's not moving his head as much. Who am I to fucking critique? But, you know, he's like, I feel like he comes in straight sometimes. And I don't know, he's shipping shots. He's shipping shots to get away his shots. So he's going to have to like work on that. This is the second camp with Virgil Hunter. So, look, you know, I've always said, and I said it to Virgil, I said, surely it takes 4, maybe 5 camps to really get that sync between trainer and fighter. And he kind of said, yeah, it does. He said like 3 to 4. He says sometimes, you know, he's had camps where he's got to rush, right? The guy gets an opportunity and he's got to like, just, okay, let's see what we can do together in one camp. But he said normally it takes 4 or 5. This is their second. So I think let's have one more, like Eddie said, in December, and then let's see. The issue that I have with that, and again, I asked this question to Buatsi. I'm trying to ask these questions, people, as a fan. I said, you know, there are some that say you haven't separated yourself from the British rankings yet, right? You know, like we're talking about Buatsi fighting for a world title next year. I don't even know if Buatsi is the #1 in Britain. That's not being rude, that's factual, right? We don't know. I mean, yesterday there were 3 light heavyweights around the ring. So there was Craig Richards, who came up to us after and says he wants that smoke. Lyndon Arthur, he says he wants that smoke. There's even Dan Aziz was there as well. Like all these guys, you know, he hasn't separated himself from all of them. And then you chuck in obviously Anthony Yard, Callum Johnson to that. You know, Shakan Peters, is by the way, is fighting Hosea Burton, I think, for the British title. So there's loads of light heavies. Now, don't get me wrong, he's in front of Dan Aziz, Peters, and Hosea Burton. He's in front of them, but is he in front of, can you 100% say he's in front of Craig Richards, Callum Johnson, Anthony Yard, and Lyndon Arthur? It's difficult. Craig Richards fought for a world title. Good fight against Bivol. Yard fought for a world title. Good fight against Kovalev. Well, you know, Callum Johnson fought for a world title, put Beterbiev down. Arthur beat Yard. Do you know what I mean? So I would rather see his next fight. Craig Richards is with Matchroom. Craig Richards, you know, that fight can happen. I'd rather see it be Craig Richards. I want to see Buatsi versus Craig Richards, and then, okay, then at least I know you kind of separated yourself a little bit. Or Lyndon Arthur, but Anthony Yarde's going to fight Lyndon Arthur. So I don't know. But look, there are things I think I need to see before Buatsi does go on to fight for world titles. And Insanity is only 15-0. I have no problem. Like, as much as I think he needs to fight for something next year, because he is the WBA international light heavyweight, so he is ranked number 2 or 3 in the world now in that dodgy, corrupt sanctioning body. I have no issue with him going to like 18, 19 before they say, okay, go. I have no issue. Like, how old's Buatsi again? 28. I have no issue with him having 3 more, then let's see. Because the shots that he was taking yesterday, I'm trying to think of someone heavy-handed, like Beterbiev and Joe Smith can smack big time. And I'm thinking, if he's taking those shots from either of those two, he's out. You know, I'm not quite sure about Buatsi's chin. I mean, he looks like he can take a crack, but you can't take cracks from those guys. So, look, we'll see. We'll see. Guys, I think we're going to do a live today. Yeah, we are going to do a live around 7 o'clock. We'll see, 6 or 7. But as always, thank you so much for watching the channel. Peace and love.